Stai că începi zi.
Hello, my name is Julian Ickham, and this is Reverend PhD Dumitru Ickham, and we're here to talk about some really, really funny news. So, we read in the papers last night that a really drunken Irishman went to Romania for a holiday or something, and
It was the second day.
It was his second holiday on the
Second
holiday,
day.
and he got really drunk. And in Romania, you have one of the heaviest buildings in the world called the People's Palace. This is where the Parliament is. He apparently, in his drunkenness, mistook this building as a hotel, climbed over a fortified wall with sensors, ran through a garden with sensors, and by the way, there were guards all around, scaled 3 stories, smashed the window on the 3rd story. Once he smashed the window, there are no lights in the hallway. He somehow, with his X-ray vision, knew where the top secret weapons room is and broke into the top secret weapons room where he was found passed out. Clearly, this is not what it seems. Clearly, this is a way of criminalizing Irish people, but it also has to play with Romania. So tell us some of the things that have been happening in Romania lately, Mr. Ickham, Reverend Ickham.
I don't know where to start with, to laugh or to cry. This is the news given to the stupid Romanian to believe that a drunken man can come to the biggest and strongest building in Europe, second in the world. It was Ceausescu, the president, the dictator who built this monster building, to say like that. And this guy, according with the Romanian news, were for selling newspaper and etc., like a Spider-Man. He came and he was drunk. How you say the
drunk as a skunk? See, but what were the causes of this? Because clearly this guy didn't do this himself. Clearly there were causes, and for the last little bit in Romania, there has been quite a lot of turbulence.
Yes.
So tell us about the turbulence.
Yes, I said, it's something to laugh what they present to us, to put the attention to another place, to something like children play.
What are they taking?
And the serious one would make me cry. And Romanian people crying because we have let's start with the demonstration. The latest one, it was on 21st of December, when thousands and thousands of people were getting in the street protesting against the government. These people who are
dictators,
a dictator, to tell the people what to do, and so on. And after that, we had a senator, Diana Sosoaca, and she was the person as a senator and a very smart lawyer. That's very, very important, because this government is trampling down the Constitution. They don't care what is the Constitution. And she asked them, "Sir, did you read the Constitution?" "Oh, it's so big. Do you think I have time for that?" So she's a lawyer, and she was reading very easy all the laws given by the government, and she said this law is not constitutional because it's against right of the man to be free. This law is not constitutional because I have the right to worship, and you cannot say uh, you have a limited
Yeah,
thing.
so basically we can say that she is one of the few people who has been
She's
exposing
almost
corruption.
the only one.
She's been the only senator who's been exposing corruption. She's been
Yeah,
exposing people's salaries,
which
unemployment.
is huge. You know, here in Canada you have middle class. There you don't have middle class. You have very rich and very poor. The teachers, professor, medical doctors, medical professors, they are all poor, and the best uh, brains of Romania are going out because of poor salary, and it's not a poor salary which make them, is how they are treated with arrogance of these rich people, stupid, illiterate, and who don't have any respect of the country, of the soil, of the richness, with everything. They were destroying. They were like a curse, a
So the
devilish
reality of the
curse.
situation is, on one hand, we have the people in the streets of Romania since 1989 demanding the government step down. You have this one senator
The
who is
president and the government and
yeah, so you have this one person standing up to them, and they've tried several times to try to oust her. And it's interesting because the room the person went through to get in was through the Senate room. And one of the first things the newspapers
she's
said,
a
and that
senator.
was she is a senator. One of the first things the newspapers have said was Sosoaca's people were grabbing guns. So what
from
we're
from
seeing
the government.
from the government.
Yeah,
So what we're seeing here is we're seeing two things. You have the myth of the Irish terrorist, and they're taking that and they're playing it up. The myth of the drunk Irish, the myth of the Irish terrorist, when we all know it was Britain who were the terrorists in Ireland. And like we all know, this is what's really going on. And they're taking this, and MI5 is using this back there. They're probably blaming the continuity IRA or the new IRA or the real IRA, and they're going to be using this in the north of Ireland to make laws stricter. They're going to be using this to make it harder to travel through the European Union. They're going to make this harder for Romanians to travel to Ireland and Irish people to travel to Romania. And they're going to use this to criminalize dissidents in both Romania and Ireland. It's going to give the gendarme in both countries, because let's not lie to each other. When you see
so
a police officer in Romania or in Ireland, they're not police officers, they're army people. They have machine guns, they have army uniforms, they have chain of command. So what this is an excuse to give the gendarme more power to stop dissidents, and particularly those who support Sosoaca or those who support any alternative to the order that is being pushed on us, the capitalist neoliberal order. So we can't buy this lie that's being told to us. What we need to do is we need to educate ourselves, see what's really going on, see what they're doing, expose it, and oppose it.
like we want democracy, and what we have now in Romania is a dictatorship. Like talking about this senator, they were saying lies against her. and she is not allowed to any government
Function.
government TVs
Yeah,
and
yeah.
to reply to say
See, doesn't it sound to people of Ireland? Doesn't it sound familiar that she's not allowed or her vote on like television or mass media? Isn't that what they did to Adams during the Provo years?
yeah,
Not
yeah,
that
yeah.
Adams is any good. Adams sold out, but the point being, they're going to use this to further demonize her. They're going to use this to further demonize demonstrations. They're going to use this to trample on the Constitution. And in the north of Ireland, they're going to use this to round up dissident Republicans. They're going to round up anyone that's related to the 32 county sovereignty movement. They're going to round up anyone with the real Sinn Féin. They're going to round up anyone that doesn't agree with the so-called peace process there, and they're going to round up everyone who doesn't agree with so-called democracy in Romania. This is Dumitru and Reverend Dr. Dumitru and regular Julian Ickham doing our show. Thank you very much.
And Julian Ikim is the one who stole my name.
No, he stole my name.
How?
I'm the real. I don't know. I'm the real Ickham.